Like, if we can't say fart, what's the point of cartoons anymore?
Hey there, Toonami faithful, and welcome back aboard Toonami Absolution, where we talk about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. Once again, we are your hosts. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John. Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, or Batman of the Future, Return of the Joker, debuted December 12th, 2000, direct to video. Toonami got it 3 times: August 9th, 2002, March 19th, 2004, and July 26th, 2008.
Yes.
Was you,
Yes.
Sam?
I'm a big Batman Beyond fan. I'm of the perfect age where, that kind of like industrial rock during the action bits. It's basically a Linkin Park AMV sometimes before Linkin Park really struck big. And I like this movie. Me and my buddy, name dropping, me and my buddy Scott Snyder kind of refer to this as one of the best Batman stories kind of ever. Um, Mostly because of how like dark it's willing to go, albeit in some releases not as dark as you'd think. John, I'm sure you got the skinny all over that.
Do you want the production fun? Oh dear. There are two versions of this film. The one that came out December 12th, 2000 was edited and it's only 75 minutes long. And April 5th, 2011, there's a 78-minute unedited version. I presume we've all watched the unedited version because we're sensible human beings. So the story of this is that, originally this was going to be Batman Arkham. It was going to be the sequel to Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero, written by Boyd Kirkland, but that got canned for various reasons. So Bruce Timm was told, hey, do you want to make a Batman Beyond movie? He was like, sure. But at the same time, we're making Batman Beyond. We can't have all our crew go and do the film. So he outsources a load of stuff to TMS, which was the plan. So they did all the pre-production, they did a lot of the animation. But there was a slight problem. See, this was originally going to come out Halloween 2000, but the Columbine High School massacre happened, and WB get very picky about violence in cartoons. Unfortunately, according to Bruce Timm, there's another problem going on, because, I'm going to quote him, well, there was some miscommunication there, it was all kind of vague. Here's the thing, when they told us they wanted to do a direct-to-video Batman Beyond, our first thought immediately was, great, we don't have to deal with broadcast standards and practices, so we can do something a little bit more adult. And right off the bat, the home video people were telling us, well, no, we don't want it to be more adult than the TV show. If anything, we want it to be more kid-friendly. Because the fact that... and they said the reason for that is, they market their videos to kids and their parents. They don't market to comic book fans. They figure they're an impulse buy, that some mom is going to be walking through Target and say, oh, my kid likes Batman, I'll buy him this Batman video. And because the kids will watch things over and over again, rather than an episode that comes on once and they only watch once, that any adult subject matter, i.e. violence, is going to be seen by them over and over again. Therefore, you have to tone it down to lessen the impact of it. Then, in traditional Bruce Timm fashion, the literal next line is, we were very stubborn, so we went ahead and just did what we did. So, yeah, they did all the script. They sent them a script. WB sent it back with corrections. They sent another script, sent it back with corrections. Then eventually they said, okay, if you guys still worry about it, we'll deal with it at the storyboard stage. So they storyboarded it, sent the storyboards, got ready to send it all off, they got over animated, and then the company came back, and it was, Bruce says, well, I told them, well, we sent you the storyboard. We said we were going to go over it at that point. They said, oh, well, who has time to look over a storyboard? Because standards were just used to checking scripts. They presumed that once something was shown on, they'd been shown it, that was it. So half of this was already animated when they're getting to the point of like, okay, we want more cuts. Then they finally get like a done version of it. So again, Bruce Timm, we assembled our first cut of it, scored it, and did all the post-production stuff, and we were happy with it. In fact, we were thrilled with it. But again, even as we were watching it, James Tucker came to one of the sound mixes, and it was that flashback sequence, and he just sat there shaking his head. When the lights came up, he said, this is not a kid's movie. And I'm like, well, yeah, it isn't, is it? We screened it over at Warner Brothers lot for the crew, and there were some TV executives from Kids WB there. It was a weird screening because they were digging the story and everything, and when we got to that flashback sequence, it was absolute silence. I think I heard a couple of shocked gasps. When the thing was over, there was a polite round of applause, but I think people were stunned by how dark it was. It was so beyond the pale of what we'd done before. That's when shit hit the fan. There had been some executives there, and they all started freaking out about how dark it was. Then it became this big internal political thing because there was a tacit agreement between the home video people and Kids WB that Kids WB were going to do cross promotion for it. They were going to run commercials and even do a contest for it, and it was going to be this big promotional thing. And Kids WB said, we're not going to have anything to do with it. It's too dark. We cannot promote anything on Kids WB that we wouldn't run. And in its current state, there is no way we would ever run Return of the Joker. It's just too intense. So Bruce Timm ended up cutting the film 5 or 6 times more. And in the last couple of days, they were just redoing it over and over. So yeah, when they delivered their first cut of Return of the Joker, the whole project was under budget. By the time they had recut the thing, rescored it, and paid to have some new animation done, they were over budget. Because, yeah, it is basically an entirely different film.
Yeah. I mean, plot-wise, for those of you at home who aren't as well-versed on your Return of the Joker, your Batman Beyond, or your Batman of the Future, this is the movie that explores Bruce Wayne's probably his greatest failure as Batman, back in the DC animated universe, which is to say Tim Drake. It's revealed Tim Drake was kidnapped and brainwashed by the Joker and Harley Quinn and tortured in the uncut version to become Joker Jr. before breaking through his mental programming enough to kill the Joker. But surprise, 50 years later, he's somehow in a genetic chip that's implanted into adult middle-aged Tim Drake to torment Terry McGinnis and Bruce Wayne. And there's a weapons satellite. There's the Joker gang, including Michael Rosenbaum doing a Christopher Walken impression. And the crowd goes wild.
Yep.
What's so funny is that the cuts between the censored and uncensored, there are some that make sense and there are some that are fucking ludicrous. So I went through both. I got a list of all of them, and it's 2 pages long. So obviously the big thing, they cut all the fight sequences down and have white flashes for all the impact shots. Terry is not allowed to hit the DD twins. Just whenever he tries to hit them, we get a cutaway because he can't punch women, even though they're perfectly capable combat artists. Some things. We don't see Bruce cut off a Two-Face mannequin's head with a batarang. They just cut that. They change how when Joker kills one of the Joker's gang, in the uncut version, he shoots him. In the cut version, he fires weird laughing gas out of his gun that kills him. What's weird is in all the scenes following that, they've had the Bonk's voice had to come back in and record laughing that's playing under the rest of the scene as if to be like, he's not dead. He's not dead. So you just hear in the background of the whole scene, like you're schizophrenic. Also, weirdly, they changed Joker's line there, because Joker says, Brave New World, it has such putzes in it, to, in the cut version, it has such yutzes in it. Don't know why that's different, or why that was it. My personal favourite is in the uncut version, we're in the future, so all the cars are future cars. In the cut version, Bruce and Tim get badly drawn in seatbelts whenever they're in a car.
Yep.
And when in the back play, the seatbelt comes out of the seat, but it's clearly going through Terry's shoulder several points. It's so bad.
Through the poor guy.
2 of my favourites is when Joker breaks into the Batcave, they change his graffiti from red to purple.
Yeah.
And after he beats up Ace, who is my favourite character in this film, Ace is watching an old Warner Brothers cartoon where a dog is saying, I wish I were dead, I wish I were dead. They censor that! They change it to I don't deserve to live. Which, that's not any better. And also, Warner Brothers, this is your own cartoon. Why haven't you swapped it for another one? Why? They got someone in to record dialogue.
We paid this person. I have very fond memories of this movie, and that scene when Tim Drake breaks through that programming and he just is laughing until he physically melts into Barbara's arms is seared into my subconscious.
Oh yeah. It's terrifying. I mean, he laughs. You see him laugh and then start to cry, but still with a rictus grin, and yeah, it's a whole thing. If I remember correctly, there's changes there John, I'm sure that you have in your list.
Tim Drake doesn't shoot the Joker in the cut version. He gets the gun. He does the whole who will I shoot? And then he throws the gun and lunges at Joker, and they have like a little cat fight. Pushes the Joker. The Joker knocks into some nicely placed water barrels. So he's standing in a puddle. Joker slips and then grabs a sort of switch on the wall and pulls it when he's falling, and that electrocutes him. We don't see the electrocution. We just hear Barbara outside the asylum, and she hears Joker scream, which ruins the entire film because, like, Tim, why are you sad about this? That was clearly the Joker's fault for putting his barrels of water next to his uncovered electrical outlet.
I feel like it's important for Tim to be the one who kills the Joker, because not only is this Batman's failure to protect Tim, he couldn't even keep Tim from doing the one thing that Batman keeps saying he won't do, which is kill someone. So it's multiple layers of failure for Bruce here.
The Joker death is just so comical because it requires the Joker to basically go, because the Joker in this, a big thing is Hamill had a rule that the Joker wasn't going to laugh in this film until like right near the end to make him more threatening. So having this non-laughing Joker suddenly being like, "Woo, I can't stand up on this water." It's like Batman 66 would go, that's a bit silly.
I love the Joker design I love that it's kind of a cross between the new Batman Adventures and the classic Batman the animated series look here. And I love it in the future where sometimes you just see his eyes glowing in the darkness. It's a really effectively creepy Joker. And then you think about it and it's like, oh, he's in like middle-aged Tim Drake man body. Like that's the other side of that.
That's my only issue with this film. When they do the Joker reveal, is that because he's done genetic splicing, when he transforms, Tim Drake goes from being a stocky brick to Joker's kind of slim body. I kind of wish they hadn't done that. I think it kind of ruins the mystery a little bit. It would have been cool if they'd have had them have the same body type, and then like he could have pulled the coat off to reveal the Joker, the black Joker from underneath. Yeah, having him be like, "Oh, I can just change my body." It's like, oh, maybe you should make yourself bigger.
You know, like what happened at the end of Batman Arkham Asylum.
Yeah. Like Tim looks pretty damn strong. You probably should have been Tim.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like that. You know, I think one of the big things is like, why does Batman give up being Batman, the DC animated universe, that when we first watched Batman Beyond, and this certainly justifies it, right? It's like, ooh, okay. There's also a scene that theoretically explains why Bruce has a limp that's cut out of the edited version where the Joker slashes Batman with a knife. I assume that's why he uses the cane throughout, other than just old fucking age.
They kind of it's kind of the implication, but they do also mention at the start of the first episode of Batman Beyond, they show Bruce having like a fall. Mm-hmm. So it's both. Yeah, fun with knives is a nice thing of censoring here. So they have, Batman tries to cut himself out of some ribbons with a knife and then throws the knife. In the edited version, they've rubbed the knife out, but you still hear the noise of the knife, and you still see the impact mark left by the knife. So it's like Batman is making knife noises, and then they have Joker pulls a knife out of his sleeve, tries to, and then stabs Batman with it. In the edited version, he just punches him. So he punches Batman in the face so hard it gives him a limp. But my favourite thing about this is if you want to see how late into production some of these edits were made, there are about 3 frames where Joker pulls his hand back and the knife appears. Because they just couldn't, even on all the modern releases, it's still there. The knife is there for a couple of frames, and you can literally see the hand suddenly move down to the punch frames.
That's interesting.
This was late, some of these edits.
You had like 3 guys that you were paying an extra $50 to stay up until like 3 a.m. just doing the in-betweens.
Well, yeah, because remember, this was outsourced. Like, TMS would have gone on to other projects when this was done. The fact TMS would come back to do this is, well, we don't know, but based on how Bruce Timm phrases things, it really feels like they were given a king's ransom to be like, we need you.
They were like, no, you get to name the price this time, animators.
Yeah. I do like that this pencils in some other questions that we've had about the DCAU. You know, we find out that Harley Quinn's still alive and a grandmother.
Yeah.
We find out that apparently Dick Grayson's still alive and still bitter as hell.
Wouldn't you be if you were Dick Grayson?
I'm so surprised Bloodhaven got through. I was kind of expecting Bloodhaven to be changed to Red Liquid Haven or something.
Sanguine Haven.
The Harley ending is great because at the very end, it's kind of like post credits. Harley goes and bails the D's out of prison. They call her Nanny Harley. In the uncut version, she's in a blue cardigan, and we don't actually confirm it's Harley Quinn, but she's Harley's original voice actress, so it makes sense.
Harley and Sorkin.
That's it. In the edited version, they've changed her colours of her clothes to black and red to make it really clear that Harley didn't die. That this is the same Harley.
That feels such like such a screw you in a way. Like, if you think our audience is this dumb, we're gonna make you think they're this dumb.
Because it ruins because the whole gag is that it's this old woman bails them out, and it's like, oh, who would? Oh, it's Auntie Harley, and then she immediately starts taking them to town about what the hell were you doing? You've ruined the joke, and it's such a dodgy edit of her. Her skin tone is all off because they've clearly changed just the hue on the cell.
I do like her little like shrimp lady look though as an adult. Like, I think that adult, as an older woman, I think that's very fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen the edited version, but I've seen like highlights online. So I know stuff about like the weapons satellite now only targeting clearly darkened buildings as opposed to lit up buildings because we can't have that. Yeah, stuff like that. So
like it hits a cinema at one point, but in the edited version they've just covered the sign, so it's a building with a blank sign.
It's like when Nappa takes over that, like, fights that city in Dragon Ball Z. It was Sunday, so no one was there.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fucking weird. Like, the amount of these I have where it's just like I can't justify why the hell they would do some of this.
I mean, the seatbelt thing I think is probably the most laughable. It's just the idea that they have these really, it feels like the Gohan eyes open edit on Tree of Might. Where it's just like, ooh, that's not supposed to look like that.
That's incorrect.
Yeah.
It really is, because, it's the seatbelts just look so, because those scenes of the car rescue, it's red on the inside, you have the light from the outside, really atmospheric, and the seatbelts are just like paint tool, rectangle, fill tool, black. One of my other favourites is they have Joker called the original Batman Batfart, which they have to change to Batcoot in the edited version.
That sounds like a slur.
The version for children should have fart in it. What do children love? They love fart jokes.
They do.
Like, if we can't say fart, what's the point of cartoons anymore?
I mean, based on this, I'm assuming that I assume somebody at Warner Brothers Animation was like viscerally offended by the original cut of this movie, and they're like, we're not just going to come down on you. We're going to come down on you as laughably hard as we can to make sure you never do this again. That's what it sounds like. There is a vindictiveness to this.
It really does feel like Bruce Timm was being punished for that showing.
Yeah.
Because when because there's all sorts of just like so many stupid little bits, and even stuff that animated series would get away with, like Joker's graffiti being like changed to purple. Joker had red graffiti in animated series.
Yeah, it's not all blood. Red doesn't, it's not
clearly paint as well.
It's Bruce Wayne's blood in the Batcave, and it's like, no, it's just paint.
A lot of blood.
I think there's also an aspect of like the Batman the Animated Series, like the original. It had eyes on it, but it took time to get there. This was always going to have eyes on it. So maybe they're not just punishing them. It's also like, no, this is the thing that people, like a lot of people, are going to see. We didn't know about the first one, but now we know that.
Yeah. We let you have Mask of the Phantasm. This is darker than Mask of the Phantasm. Fuck you.
Screw you.
I also get the feeling, so I was looking into sort of the fallout from Columbine. There was, I think, this feeling that there was going to be almost like when we had the ESRB coming for video games. There does seem to be a general idea that every company's like, oh, we're going to start getting laws put in place. So let's go be really good now in the hope we can shape those if it goes to court. And then we can be like, oh, look, we were trying. Maybe you should let us regulate ourselves. But it's still so silly. And the worst thing is just that the change of the kill undermines the entire point.
Yeah.
I would have even been okay with it if they'd have changed it, swapped how Harley and Joker died. Have Tim push him and he falls off, and we do the fall into darkness, because that's still Tim at least directly doing the act.
Yeah. I mean, outside of the extensive censorship and complicated, production, what do we think of the movie as a whole? Because for me, it's one of my favorite things to come out of the entire DCAU.
Oh, it's excellent. Like I think it's there. The DCAU occupies such a special place in animation history in general and comic book history, and so much comes to fruition in this movie in a way that I feel a lot of like tie-in movies for these animated series don't tend to do. Like, this is taking the animated series, this is taking Batman Beyond, which people forget Batman Beyond was just made to sell toys, and they actually made something really special out of it. Like, you're taking all these different threads, you're taking one of the core relationships in Bruce's life, and essentially you're having a bit of a sins of the father plot here, because this is almost Jason Todd before we were starting to get a lot of the Red Hood stuff, like it's your past is coming back to haunt you, and the Joker is the one who made this happen, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, Jason's still dead in the comics at this point, right?
That's right. Jason is still dead. The fun fact, my dad voted to kill Jason Todd back then.
Oh, I was talking to Scott once, and he was like, he voted to kill Jason, felt bad about it, and then voted to save him to cancel out his own vote. Because of course he would.
So he remained neutral as the blood is still on his hands.
Complicity is complicity
is violence, but only in the case of Jason Todd. I'm glad Jason Todd is dead. No, I love this film. It's. I'll always say Batman Beyond does something that I think comics have forgotten how to do, which is how to do the mantle pass correctly, and that is shown so nicely here that we haven't just passed to Terry because we need a young kid or we need a guy. They've made Terry his own very distinct character. They've used the legacy of the character to tell that story. Like, Terry isn't any other Batman. Like, when Terry is in the suit, it's so definitely Terry, and how who he is and where he comes from informs everything he does.
I've talked to Bruce Timm about this, and it's always fascinating to me, like, how he works under creative constraints, because like Batman the Animated Series, fantastic. He's helming this thing, and then Warner Brothers is like, "Hey, we've got a new movie coming out that introduces Robin. You should really put more emphasis on Robin." So that's when it gets rebranded the Batman Adventures of Batman and Robin halfway through its run, and it's awesome. And then they're like, "Hey, we're moving you to Kids WB. We need to appeal to younger audiences. Could you do something about that?" That's where they add the BTS Tim Drake and redesign the look, and that's still awesome. It's like, oh, look, there's Nightwing. It's great. And then Warner Brothers comes at him again. It's like, what if we did something where it was a younger Batman? Could you do something that's a younger Batman? And then Bruce Timm's like, okay, fine. Here's a younger Batman, and I'm gonna mix it with Akira, and it's gonna be awesome. And it's like, fuck, this is great. Like, seeing that progression is just like, holy shit. And then it results in this, which kind of puts the nail in the coffin until like Justice League.
Yeah.
I love the ending bit of this movie where we have, Batman is like, oh yeah, Bruce Batman is like, oh, Joker likes to talk, and you just hear Terry go, I like to talk, and it immediately flips the dynamic with the Joker, because he's like, well, you can get a laugh out of Bruce. The guy's got no sense of humor, but you're crap. Like, you're not funny. And how the Joker, it's so great because it makes him feel so different to everything that's come before. And yeah, I like the Joker here. He feels different, but the same in a way. It's a really nice evolution of his character.
Yeah, like that moment with Terry basically kind of being Spider-Man, just a teeny tiny little bit of Spider-Man in that moment. And watching the Joker, this version of him, not be able to handle that, because you messed up the bit, you messed up the rhythm of the comedic timing. I don't know what to do. Nobody gave me the script. Is actually shockingly like mature to do in something like this is already a mature movie, but this is such a mature concept to put into this ostensible kids film.
Well, it's the idea that like Joker is really just tailor-made for Bruce Wayne Joker. And so when you put somebody else under the cowl, they're not going to jive the same way, and it's going to throw off the Joker, and the Joker off his game pisses him off so much. Because yeah, like John was saying, when that he's like, "Oh, you never got a laugh out of the old man, but you kind of suck at this." That's the moment where like the kid gloves are off. I'm not here to have fun anymore. Now I'm going to get you.
I love the fact after that Joker switches from the joy buzzer to just choking.
Yeah.
Like
he's just trying to choke the shit out of him.
Such a good visual for like how he's rattled him, in that Joker has dropped it. Joker has just kind of killed, and it's so well done. There is a bit I wish we did see. It was in the original screenplay where Joker was going to try and get Terry into the original Batsuit.
That's interesting and cool.
Yeah, but they dropped it because they said he needs to stand on his own, which I kind of, it's one of those things I would have liked. I think that'd be an interesting thing to do. That Joker has to, Joker can't move past Bruce. Yeah. But I get why you kind of don't want to put, because that's a big problem. They always try to do this mantle passing, end up in the shadow of the old guy. And what makes Terry fun is that he's not Bruce. He's a different look, different style.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand why they dropped it, but you can clearly see them kind of set it up with the Batcave invasion and stuff like that. That's, yeah, the threads of it are still there, but yeah, I mean, the entire reason, this is the Batman of the future. Like, that's the entire deceit.
The deep dependent nature of the Joker too. I think there's also, there's also that piece of like that abandoned, pained Tim Drake that comes through when you have those moments where like Tim, I don't know much of the background obviously because it's not filled out, but you have to imagine that Tim was a kid. He was he felt abandoned because his superhero couldn't save him.
Well, and he's an orphan in this continuity. In comic book continuity, Tim Drake is raised by Jack Drake, a loving father who's eventually killed by Captain Boomerang.
Because that's how that works in comics, goddamn.
Yeah, in a dad, Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, well, in animated series, they're basically like, what if it's Tim Drake, but really it's Jason Todd. Yeah. He's gonna try. He's an orphan in the streets of Gotham that tries to steal the tires off the Batmobile, but we're gonna call him Tim Drake because there's already a kind of a stigmata associated with Jason at this point.
Yeah, we can't put Jason in there because damn, that's gonna raise some thoughts, friends.
Yeah, people are gonna be like, oh, so you're gonna kill this guy then? And it's like, no. But after Batman, the new Batman Adventures, we're gonna do something that's worse.
Much worse.
Oh, Tim, you poor little boy.
Yeah, Tim's probably like, by the looks of animated, new Batman Adventures, he looks to be about like 9 to 12 years old.
Yeah, I would say I don't think he's anywhere close to 12. I think 9 or 10. Like I can't see him being. He's so small and skinny, and the size of him as a child also makes it so much more uncomfortable because so many animated cartoons, like no matter where you are, don't really make kids look like kids very much. He looks like a child, and that makes it so much worse.
Yeah.
And if he's 12, Bruce ain't feeding him. That is not the size of a 12-year-old. Talking about little nod.
It's hard to tell though, because Bruce is built like a brick shithouse at this point.
That's all the Tibetan monks.
Yeah.
The ancient Tibetan art of steroids. Talking about one thing I really like is, and it's a thing you don't notice till the end, is when the Joker is taking over the Joker's gang, when he kills Bozo, I think that's his name, the first people he goes to sort of get them to pledge loyalty is the D's. Which then we know is they're Harley's sort of grandkids. It's that very much that this is still the old Joker, and the first thing he does is like, oh, these two women are going to be easy for me to push onto. Like, there's something darkly sinister about that idea of him. Like, he knows, like, his old patterns, and it makes him feel so threatening because he knows they're going to just break quickly.
And the D's are teenagers too, right?
Oh, they're very young. Very good kickers, though. They fight like Streets of Rage boss.
Yeah, I think they're all supposed to be like around the same age as Terry, who's in high school.
Just one of them sounds like Christopher Walken.
Yeah, I there's got to be something because it's Michael Rosenbaum who was Lex Luthor on Smallville and voiced Wally West on Justice League, and I think he was just having fun in the booth and was just like, "This is Mike Walken," and Andrea Romano, who's the voice director, was like, "Oh, fun, go with that."
Do it.
Literally, one of the behind the scenes things says he took inspiration. He says, "I took inspiration from Christopher Walken," and then the clip ends, and I'm just there like, "But why?" That's not the question I have. Why? Why does this teenager in the future sound like Christopher Walken?
Because that's the way of the future.
Yeah,
like I guess he played the video game Ripper.
Yeah.
Oh my! No, we can't talk about Ripper right now. We're getting too close to the end of the video.
Yeah. Before we end, I do want to point out one of my favorite things about this is that this film proves that Bruce, batarangs are cool, but apparently having your dog maul people is just way more effective. Why was Bruce not setting Ace on everybody? Ace is a good boy.
Ace is best boy.
It's very Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I think that should be like Bruce's new attack, like a fighting game. Now and again with an enemy, he says like Ace, and there's the dog off screen.
Just, but yeah. So let's get some final thoughts in the chamber.
I'm really glad we covered this one. I'm actually surprised we haven't done it earlier, but we'd already done Mask the Phantasm and Sub-Zero. John having us revisit Batman the Animated Series kind of kicked this around and was like, well, I'd rather watch this than Batman Mystery of the Batwoman. Let's do one. And it's great. It's like I say, I'm of the age where the choice in music and anytime you add a little Akira to anything, even if it's just the slide, just makes it better.
This film was great. It's an amazing triumph. Actually very watchable even without Batman Beyond knowledge. It does a good job of setting up, so I don't think you need to watch Batman Beyond. Obviously, first time, make sure you see the uncut version. That's any version past 2011. However, do go back and watch the cut version, preferably with friends, preferably as a drinking game. The censored version is much worse, but infinitely funnier to see what seems to be a group of studio executives in a room losing their goddamn minds over the color of text and seatbelts. It's one of the funniest experiences I've had watching a movie is comparing the two because of just how you go from, yeah, I can see why in this environment you'd want to tone that down. Wait, what? Why have we changed the color of this now? Why has Harley got a different cardigan on? Why would I be offended by the blue cardigan? So yeah, watch it twice. Once for pleasure and once for amusement.
Yeah, you like Batman, you like this movie. That's really what it comes down to. This is a great Batman story, probably one of the best ones in general. Like it's definitely up there. You have a great passing of the mantle. You have Mark Hamill is really crushing it in this movie. He is. I think for a hot second, this was like he had almost retired the character, and he was like, "No, I'm coming back. Let's do this," because Kevin Conroy was there. It's the same thing with Arkham Asylum too. Like he's terrifying, and Kevin Conroy is heartbreaking, and everybody is giving it their all. Watch the movie; you will not be disappointed if you've never seen it, and if you have seen it, watch it again. Who's it gonna hurt? But you know what that means? It does mean we have pulled into our final destination. That is right. It is time for us to say goodbye and disembark from Toonami Absolution. We want to thank you once again in joining us and talking about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. We have been your hosts. My name is Alex.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you next time. Bang.